Okay, so we're going to call this part two, and again, continuing our talk on the Mele Kamali'io Kapo. So, as was explained previously, Auhe vale oe Kamali'io Kapo, where are you, child of darkness? Eia ho'i au Kamali'io Keau, I am a child of the light. Then it says, Ko kea kua ha'ia mio, ko lihau ula ha'i kupua. Again, a very beautiful olelo no'eau that speaks of Pono. You know, it speaks of the order in which the Akua did their Pono. So it says, Ko ke Akua ha'ia mio. So that the speaking to the narrow channels came from Akua. The speaking through the narrow channels came through Akua. Ko lihau ula ha'i kupua. Now the first kahuna, some say lihau ula, others say komo'ava. They may be the same. It was the kahuna who the gods spoke to that reflected ha'ikupua, that spoke the words to the people. So in a sense, the kapu and the kanavai came from the kahuna, but the kahuna got the message from the akua. So again, it goes back to that pono I talked about earlier of akua, aina, and then kanaka. Then you get the akua, then you get the aumakua, then you get the kupuna, the makua, you get the opio, you get the keiki. Then there's another order, another pono that talks about the ali'i, below the ali'i the kahuna, and below the kahuna the maka'ainana. Each one having a place, a function, an order, and a format. So, this olelo no'eau, or this proverb, speaks about who is chosen in the lahui. God chooses. God chooses. Ko ke akua ha'ia mio. Ko ke akua ha'ia mio. And once God makes that choice, ko lihau ula, ko ke kahuna ha'ikupua. They reflect the words. They reflect the words of course, the akua. But how close are we to akua? How close are we to the pono of akua to know? Who is speaking through this narrow channel? And what is that narrow channel? That is the gift that comes from akua. And not everybody is chosen. It just says God will choose, akua will choose those that have that mana. God will choose those that he will speak to. And the ones that he chooses to speak will deliver the messages. But if nobody listen, well, then pehea kapono o kela olelo no eau. Because then I'm going to ask the question again. Are we ha ole I kamana'o a me ke koho? Or are we ha wai'i I kamana'o a me ke koho a me ko kākou maupopo pono o ka pono o nā kupuna o ka wā māmua? Pehea ke la pono? Ola ke la pono me kākou I ki ia au huli huli? He mea I koe aku ia. He mea no ke kuka ana, he mea no ka no nui ana. So, do we practice that pono like our kupuna? Do we understand that pono of our kupuna? I think it's something for good discussion. Ho iki akamanao. Kavehevehe ana ka mana'o, to show what you know and, to open up your thoughts for understanding. No ka maupopo pono. Ka maupopo pono o ka pono. Ka maupopo pono o ka ike pono, ka ulu pono, ka ana pono, ke ku pono. Everybody loves this word pono. They named their keiki Pono. They named their doggy Pono. Everybody loves Pono. But do we truly understand the order, the format, the focus? I mean, I would hate to think casual use of such a important word, casual use of a valued tradition. Pea ko KΑKOU pili ka pono. How are we connected to the pono? And this goes back to your assignment, which would be Aihea ka pono o ka Mele, because remember, this is Mele class, yeah? Mele class. And so, again, yeah, trying to share with you the mo'olelo of this song, Kamali'i o ka po, yeah, and how I wrote it, and the mana'o within the Mele. But remember, yeah, the kauna belongs to the hakumele. The kauna is the hidden part of the Mele. Not the part I'm going to tell everybody. Because if I do that, as we talked about, I hear ka'e o ka Mele, once you start giving away the life of the song, the song not going to have life. Havi vale ka'e o ka Mele. Pono ka'e o ka Mele. Pono ke ola o ka Mele. You cannot give away all that, because Bombay not going to have air, not going to have ola. Ma lama iho, pu lama iho me ke aloha. You have to take care of those things. So, remember now, the akua, ha'i amio. So ha'i is to speak, and amio are narrow channels. So it's not a huge channel, yeah? It's not a huge channel for speaking. He speaks to the chosen few. But everybody like be the one. That's a big challenge. Everybody like be the one. Everybody like be the ali'i. Everybody like be the kahuna. I like be the maka'ainana. I love my hands iloko o ka'aina i kalepo no ke kanu o na mea ai. Yeah, because no mo mea ai, nobody going ola. But everybody wants that. Peha ke la mana'o. He mana'o Hawaii i ke la, he mana'o ha'ole ke la, peha ke la mana'o. Ka iPad, ka iPhone, ka iMac, ka I. So in the Mele, I'm writing about all of this because where are we? Ayanoya oi kapauku ivaina, you're there in the middle. Aihea kapo'o, aihea kahi'u. Where's your past? Where's your future? Amaupoponoya oi, do you totally understand? Do you fully understand? Do you comprehend it in its totality? Maupopopono. The connections, the order, the format, the discipline, the understanding. Because for me, kahakawano na Mele, it's, people always say this about my songs, they're so simple. Oh my kai, mahalo nui auko, thank you. The depth, the depth belongs to my kauna. So now I'm sharing that with all of you, the understanding, because he lavai a oi no kakai papa'u, he lavai a oi no kakai hohonu, lavai a au I kakai hohonu. Aia no I ka hohonu I ka lipo, na mea hunao na po e kupuno kawa maamua. Na ono e ho vehevehe aku no I maumele. Okay, so what I said was, so do you want to be a fisherman of shallow waters, or do you want to be a fisherman in the deep sea? And I like to fish in the deep sea because way down in the depth, in the lipo, way down, na mea huna ia na po e kupuna, the things that were hidden by our kupuna. Na ono e haku iki ia mau mea I loko o ka mele, and I weave them into these songs. Ki ia manawa ka ho'ovehe ana ka mana o ki ia mele o kamali'i o ka po. And so now I'm explaining to all of you this mele kamali'i o ka po. Okay, so remember that verse. Ko KAKOU. We do not become, according to the Olelo No'eau, we are chosen to be. Man don't choose us, Akua going to choose us. When Akua choose us, we have kuleana to teach, to share, yeah, the Olelo of Akua. But remember, with all of this, you gotta strengthen the pilina. That's part of the Pono. You have to strengthen the pilina. So you have to ho'omau ka pono. Ho'omau no ka pilina, ka ho'omau ana o ka pono. So as you maintain that pono, you maintain that pilina. The pilina tu akua, aumakua, kupuna, makua, opio, akua, aina, kanakamauli, ivihanau o ka aina. Okay. The third verse. It says, Auhea vale oe kamali'i o ka po, eia ho'i au kamali'i o ke ao. Ho'ohoku kalani ka wahine, haloa ke kalo, haloa ke kanaka. So, mo'oku au hau. Lineage. Descent. Because we all came from somewhere. We all just never, boom, we're all here. We had parents. Who had parents? Who had parents? Who had parents? The mo'o. Like the mo'o olelo, the source of the story, the succession of the story. And the mo'o kuauhau, yeah, the lineage of the family, the succession over the ages, yeah, because we get kupuna kualua, kupuna kuakahi, kupuna, makua, and then here we are. Everything has format. Everything has order. And again, that's a pono. And earlier when I said we are a part of this great pono, now let's be the pono, and let's do things with pono. Maybe one day, a maupopo pono, we're going to totally understand, yeah, that we cannot get away from the pono, that we are tied into the pono from our birth, from the mo'okuauhau. So, you have Papa and Vakea being the parents of Ho'ohoku Kalani. Then you have Ho'ohoku Kalani, you know, and she is Immaculate Conception. You know, and people go, Immaculate Conception. Well, Jesus' birth was an Immaculate Conception. In the Hawaiian tradition and in their genealogies and their stories, that's not uncommon. That's not uncommon. So, she has the first child, Haloa ke kalo. So at the birth of this child, because it is weak, the child expires. So they take the child and they bury it. Well, from the body of the child grows forth the kalo. And you know the kalo is an amazing plant because you look at the leaves of the kalo, it looks like placenta. And then you look at the stem, it really mimics the umbilical cord. And when you look at the kalo itself, it really looks like the fetus. It is amazing connection. But think about how our akua were so infinite in their thinking. Man could not be created first, because if he was created first, what would he eat? So man's survival, sustenance, came from the kalo, from food. So we cannot have man appearing on earth without something to eat, something to sustain him. The firstborn, haloa ke kalo, is the hiapo, the eldest, which now not only connects us to akua, but the second level of the pono, the aina. No ka aina no ke kalo. No ke kino o papahanau moku. Ka ki ia mo opuna o yo haloa ke kalo. He mea aino na Hawaii. Na ko ho makau ana no ala ko I ka poi ka ho vali me ka lima. Ai iho no. So the kalo has a major integral role in the pono. This is why there are no arguments, no business discussed at the meal that poi is on the table. Poi is always kept there to make sure the meal is peaceful, is blessed, and is sacred. Because our hiapo is there, the direct link to our kupuna, ka umeke ai, ka ai miki oi ana me kalima, vai ho ia no malu no ka KΑKOU, no ka paina iho o na mea ono, na mea ai, o ho I ka poi, ka pili na me haloa ke kalo. And this is why when the people in the old days, they had a big round bowl, big umeke ai, and everybody ate of the kalo, of the poi. To reaffirm our connections to the aina kapoi, our reflection to our kupuna, our hiapo, no haloa ke kalo kapoi, our reaffirmation to the aina, no papahanau moku, I ke kino lua o hoku kalani, oia hoi ha. Well, after the kalo emerges into this into this light, after the kalo emerges into this light, well, then a second son is born. Haloa nakalau kapalili. Haloa of the quivering leaf. You know, when you look at the kalo in the breeze, and when the breeze catches the lau, kapalili no. I love to watch that. Again, it is pilina. Pilina to haloa ke kalo, and pilina to haloa nakalau kapalili. But haloa nakalau kapalili becomes the ancestor, of the Hawaiian race. So you can tell me we came from here, we came from there, we'll migrate from here. Good. Tell me all the stories you like. But my history, my mo'olelo says, we came from haloa. That's all I need to know. Puka na Hawaii, mai haloa mai. Iwi ka naka o ka aina he mau mo'opuna no KΑKOU no haloa. Na haloa nakalau kapalili, kalahui o Hawaii, oia vale no. And the minute we all understand that, perhaps this Hawaiian nation will become so strong that we're all related, that we all carry the DNA of haloa nakalau kapalili. We all carry that DNA. Think about that. That's what the song is trying to tell you. We all carry the DNA of our kupuna. When we going to get and understand that pono? When we going to stop giving each other attitude? When we going to stop being lili and ho'okano and ho'oyo to one another? Because I don't do that in our family. We aloha aku ke kahi. Because that's the way we were taught. That's the way we were brought up. When you cannot recognize your ohana, then that's not pono. What kind of pono is that? And if we all of the same family of haloa nakalau kapalili, that's our hiapo, the father of our race, and we get haloa ke kalo, ka hiapo, Halo nakalau kapalili, kahanaw e lua, kamulilo o kaohana, e lua hoku kalani kei kikane. Those are really, really, really important things in understanding the Pono. And then again, you can see the order of Akua, Kupuna, Aumakua. Akua, Aumakua, Kupuna. It's a cycle. And we are a part of that cycle, and we are a part of that Pono. An ancient Pono that lives within all of us today through our birth, as we are kanakamaoli ivi hanau o ia aina o Hawaii inei. And we need to be ivi hanau o ka aina o Hawaii inei. Because we can ho ha ole ina mea apau, we have to ho Hawaii. Ka ho Hawaii ana ka mea nui no na Hawaii. You understand what I'm saying? Breath and breathless. Haloa, through Haloa, we receive the breath of that genealogy. We are Hawaii. Yeah. Hawaii. Hawaii ka aina, Hawaii ke kanaka. Ho'o Hawaii. Ho'o Hawaii e na mo'opuna o Haloa. O Hawaii ko aina hanau, a o oino he Hawaii, e ho'o Hawaii KΑKOU. I'm talking about not a race, I'm talking about tradition, genealogy, history. When you ha'ole, and you know more of that, and when you Hawaii, and then when you are born into that through Haloa. Well, that's what basically this Mele is reflecting. This is what this Mele is reflecting. This simple Mele, I'm going to call him one simple Mele. Because again, as I said earlier, people love to say, oh, his Mele is just so simple. Sit down and talk with me. We can go days on end about single Mele and understanding. No ke ahala, because of the people that I learned from. And I have to give them credit, to sit down with great people like Auntie Emma DeFries and Auntie Iulani Luahine and Auntie Pilahi Paki and so many others, that inspired this process, which is part of the Pono o Mele, that you folks can all write about. The Pono of the Mele. What makes that Mele Pono? When you write the Mele, because do not discount, when you write your paper, the Pono of the Mele, the training in that kuleana. A big part of the Pono o Mele is how you were trained and who you were trained by. Remember, I shared with you the mo'olelo, I had a choice. Go college and be Dr. Kawai Kapu Okalani Hewitt. Or go with my kupuna and just be me. Me. Me ki ia mau ike. No ka wahano o ke la mau kupuna. Ka ho'olahalaha o ka ike o lākou. A mea u. Ho'opaano, ho'opa ia iloko o ka pu'uwai. Kana ao, kana ono. Because I decided no. I realized then, he vai nui ka ike o nā po e kupuna. He vai hanai no nā oha. That their knowledge was greater than anything else. And that was my choice. And that's a part of why I wrote this Mele. That is a reason why I wrote this Mele. Because how they took me and enveloped me in their ike, their understanding. And like the Mele says, they took the time to share that with me. I'm going to take the time to teach. Now, everybody gonna listen? Maybe. Maybe some people might kai. Might kai. But no, ai hui ka mo o lelo. Don't steal a story. Don't steal a story. Aole pono ke lahana. You know, like a mo o kuau hao, yeah. You cannot go and steal ancestors. That's not yours. That's not your kupuna. Don't go ai hui kupuna. Well, just like mo o lelo. If that's not your mo o lelo, no go ai hui mo o lelo. That's not pono. Pea ka pono I ka ai hui ano o ka mo o kuau hao. Pea ka ai hui ano o ka mo o lelo. No ke la mau kupuna. Ke la mau mo o lelo. Ho hano no ya lako. Ike ako no ya lako. Ika hai ano o ke la mo o lelo. So, you know, we have this proverb that says, Ike aku, ike mai. Recognize and be recognized. Let's talk about that because that's pono. And our discussion today is on pono. So, recognize and be recognized. So, here it is. Ike is wisdom and knowledge. Yeah? When the kupuna shares with you Ike, yeah, and you speak of that Ike through the mo'olelo, recognize those kupuna. And as you recognize the kupuna that you got the mo'olelo from, then you bring honor to them and honor to yourself because you did something that was so pono. You never just take the story. You said it was kupuna, and ti Emma DeFries, it was kupuna, and ti Iulani Luahine. It was kupuna, and ti Lani Kalama. It was kupuna, Mele Lobinstein. All these people that sat me down and said, koku au ya oi. I'm going to help you. Malama au ya oi. I'm going to take care of you. So when I'm going to tell these stories, I'm going to tell you it was them. I'm not going to say, yeah, my story. It's not my story. It comes from a lineage, a mo'olelo, mo'o kuauhau, mo'o ali'i, mo'o kahuna, mo'o maka'ainana, mo'o hula. Everything has a lineage that goes all the way back up. That's the pono. And then it comes back down. That's the pono. And if we disconnect from that, then I'm going to ask the question again. We ho'oha ole or we ho'ohawai'i? Which one we going to be? We're going to ho'oha ole or we're going to be ho'ohawai'i? Hana i ka pono. Ina e hana oi i ka pono. Ho'omaka me ka pono, ho'opau me ka pono, ho'omauno me ka pono. O ka pono he vai nui no KΑKOU no I pula ma I Hawaii. Ale hau wala au kamea I pili ano no ka pono. Hana ka pono, me ka oia I ono. Me ka ike o ka pono. Me ka ulu o ka pono. That's it. Yada about pono. And then when you think about our lahui, you have to think, I worked in health for a long time. I worked in health for a very, very long time. Studied many things. Worked with Dr. Ala Ilima. We wrote a grant on traditional Hawaiian healing. Yeah, and a lot of the illness, a lot of the ma'i, goes back to the understanding of the pono. Because, as I said earlier, already that DNA is in us. We cannot separate. So we're going to have to be pono to receive the mana or kapono. The authority, not the power. I'm not talking about the power. The authority of the pono. Pea ki ia ike ano na kupuna ke ia ike. Na kupuna no e malama mai ana ia una lako no kahanai mai ana ia o kuwaka ma iki. Makamahiki 1954. Kanoho ana me lako. So where did all this ike come from? As I said, I mentioned the names of our kupuna. My grandmother, Iva Kanae. My grandfather, Frank Kaayali'i o Liloa Kanae. My parents, Alice Pua Leilani Kanae Hewitt. My father, Alexander Kapili Aloha Hewitt. And then the teachers and their names I mentioned. Because no lako no ke ia ike. That's how they raised me with this understanding. Ko ike maupopo ano o ka pono. Ko ike maupopo pono ano o ka pono. Hanai no lako ia mako me ka pono. Ulu no mako me ka pono. Pehia ke ia pono ua pau ka ho'ovehewe aku no ia oko. Ina makamaka no oko e ho'olohe mai. Ina makamaka oko e hulikua. Ale pilikia ke la. Me kia kua no ka oia i o. O ia valedo.